So that being said, in life we kind of feel that if we don't have certain things yet, we shouldn't be worried about preparing for these things, right? And I think personally, if anybody here wants to be something or make something of themselves in any situation, any field, the best way to make it, or the best way to get there is to prepare for it, even though it has not matured, it hasn't come to you yet. Preparing meaning, just learning what it takes, maybe even um, finding out the steps, like for Alrighty, everybody, we're back. We're back. Thank you guys for joining us once again. And here I am with another video. Just again, if you guys follow my channel, it's just I'd like to share with you guys just insights I have on how we can maybe tackle our passions, and how can we be a little more, I would say, productive with it, more functional, more effective, and actually be more harmonious with life. I would say fulfilling, more happiness. I think when you're tackling your passions and purpose that you have in life, and you feel that you're in purpose, you don't have that, that type of, I would say, animosity towards others or any other situation, in life. You're more at ease with whatever's happening, and you understand that everybody is where they're supposed to be. And if you're on purpose, you're perfect where you're supposed to be, which means there's no reason for you to be unfulfilled, right? So fulfillment for me is number one, and then everything else I believe follows. So that being said, the the War of Art, we're back at it. For all creators that do watch and that do follow and that do like my stuff, I love it. The support is phenomenal. Thank you. But I would love to share with you guys something that I feel that we all can relate to, right? So I'm going back to the topic where what is the difference between a professional and an amateur in any craft, and that goes for any field, right? And we're constantly hearing, well, this individual is a professional, or he's so amateurish, she's so professional. These are terms we throw around every day in our everyday lives, right? And obviously everybody has their own meaning to it, but in terms of what Stephen Pressfield goes here, he goes, professionals just go through the same things that I would say amateurs go through. It's just they prepare themselves for it, and they are able to just move forward without letting that, I would say, postpone them or derail them from their main purpose, which whatever that purpose may be for each and every one of us. They don't let those things derail them from or change their mind or something just because certain things didn't work out or whatever it may be. They keep moving forward, right? So one of the things that I thought was pretty interesting in the book, if I can go over quick with you guys, is he goes, it is one thing to study war and another to live the warrior's life, right? So I would say in life, right? I know a lot of individuals that I know and I follow. They're in the game. They're in the game itself. They're not on the sidelines, as I used to say. It's one thing to be on the bench cheering for your team or criticizing others from the bench, as opposed to being in the game in the actual time, time frame, and being in the actual action of it, and not knowing how you're gonna react and how you're gonna actually I would say act in a certain circumstance, right? It's a lot easier to look at it from the bench and judge and criticize and say this person should have done that or they should have done this, as opposed to when you're in the game itself and how would you react as an individual. That is up to you. That is, nobody can kind of predict that. That's something that you prepare for, that you're ready for, and that your preparation gets you, through whatever you face, right? So that being said, in life we kind of feel that if we don't have certain things yet, we shouldn't be worried about preparing for these things, right? And I think personally, if anybody here wants to be something or make something of themselves in any situation, any field, the best way to make it, excuse me, the best way to get there is to prepare for it, even though it has not matured, it hasn't come to you yet. Preparing meaning, just learning what it takes, maybe even um, finding out the steps. Like for example, I know for me, I wanted to start my own business at one point, and I wanted to go ahead and dive into the cleaning business because I was a cleaner for a long time, and I went and I did the research. I bought a book. I really didn't ask any professionals about it. I just went and started walking around certain local businesses around my way, and I started asking them how would my service help them, and how much would they be willing to pay, and what the schedule would be like. And with a couple of weeks of actually going out there, walking the streets and asking local business owners and certain clinics, certain places, I would offer my rates, and I would find obviously pushback. But I learned that that business itself was a lot more, I would say, a little bit more. It would take a lot more work than what I thought it would, right? And I second thought it, and I didn't really go into it, and I don't think I was passionate about it as much. I was more looking to the fact that it was gonna make me some money, not the fact that I really wanted to do that. And that kind of showed when the times got tough, and I backed off, and I kind of didn't pursue the purpose itself. But the fact that I was doing that and learning, and I was going into these places and talking to business owners, and again on my own, giving rates and finding out how much, for example, how much supplies would cost me, how much I needed to charge in order to make some profit, how much employees I would need to have, how much is the liability insurance for the employees, how much is the business insurance, how much would what else, health insurance for the employees, like all these things that I would need to have in order to start my business, how much I would need upfront capital, right, to start working with, and all that investigation, all that research that I did helped me a ton, right? Because if any endeavor that I want to start, I've already had that kind of experience of the research part of it, right? And exactly, the business end of it. Meaning, a business is, at the end of the day, you're in it to make profit. In a business, you're not in it just to, you know, go bankrupt. Your mentality is to have some type of profit, right? So you have to be able to analyze the ins and outs, right? The profit and the invoices are going to be coming in. So it was kind of that experience that kind of led me to do what I'm doing now, putting out videos and learning and understanding that everything that we see other people doing on every single day, right? We see people maybe making content, maybe they're making a podcast, maybe maybe they have a website, maybe they are marketing specialists, maybe they have certain businesses that you might have worked in those areas, but owning the business is totally different, right? It's a whole different task. So we might all be ready to say, oh, we can do what that guy does and own five or six businesses, but in reality, we might not be able to handle that. We are just perfect where we are, and sometimes they say be careful what you wish for, because you might want to be in that guy's position, but you don't know what exactly what capacity you have to have, and what skills you have to be in that position, right? That we might be lacking at the moment. And in the book itself, I know I got a little bit derailed, but the book says, like, what better way to be, to be or to learn about a warrior than to be a warrior, right? There's nothing that you can learn that somebody can teach you. There's things you can learn and be taught, but most of the time you're gonna learn all these things in the trench, right? In the game. For all athletes out there that have been playing sports for a long time or had played sports, most of my experience in sports has been playing the game. I could watch a lot of videos on YouTube. I could watch countless hours of training videos, but for me, the adjustments come during the game to game, right? Every other game, I'm learning by myself. I'm learning how to get better. I'm learning what I could do better to maybe have better results. But at the end of the day, I know that the only way I'm going to get better is by putting in the time, putting in the work. As I said in my last video, the real work is just showing up and putting in the work. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video kind of quick, but stay tuned for my next video where I'm gonna share how being an employee right now at the moment is actually preparing you to be a professional. So stay tuned, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. True significance in this world, and I think we're all in the same thing. I think we all want to be able to know what we're here to do, and I think it's one day at a time. So we're gonna cut the video short. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for following. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like if you do and subscribe.